Okay, the next chapter is acid, bases, and salts. Here also I have picked most important 10 questions. Let us go one by one. Now this is the first question. Name the acid present in the stinging hair of the nettle leaf. So many times they ask, that is the methonic acid, or generally called as the formic acid. Okay, or they might ask about the which is the acid present in the curd, that would be lactic acid, or in the tamarind tartaric, so and so, some 4 5 examples are there. Just go across, any one of them might come. And this question, next question, see, be careful. Next question, reaction of the zinc with the sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, and testing the hydrogen gas, or this diagram will be asked like a pop sound diagram, you can mention whatever. What I have seen mainly while drawing the diagram, chemistry are hardly some 4 to 5 diagrams, very simple diagrams. Please do not draw without the scale. Major 99% you should use a scale for the chemistry diagram. Biology, that's a different case. Most of them in Hariberry you will not use the scales. Please try to use. And they ask you to label the soap solution delivery tube, and this particular delivery tube which is given on the screen, they might ask while labeling, they might mention label the exit tube also. And you can see in the test tube where there is the zinc granules which are settled at the bottom. If they ask you to label, at the bottom you label, and the bubbles which are arising in that solution of the zinc granules and the sulfuric acid, that bubbles you can label it as hydrogen gas also. Very simple diagram, and this is going to come for this board exam for sure, for the 3 marks or 4 marks, whatever. Okay, so next question here. Name the gas which liberated when acid reacts with the metallic carbonate. Whenever there is a question related to the which gas liberating, and if they are given one particular compound as the carbonate, then definitely it is going to be the carbon dioxide itself. Okay, remember. And they ask you to write the chemical equation, and what is the color of the precipitate obtained in this reaction. Calcium carbonate, definitely it is going to be the white precipitate. And the gas which is liberated after the reaction of the acid and the metallic carbonate, which gas it is? Definitely it is going to be the carbon dioxide, and calcium carbonate is going to be the white precipitate. And also the silver chloride, white precipitate silver chloride is there, that is also will be the white precipitate, the previous chapter. Now next question, what is a strong acid? Explain how tooth decay is caused, how it can be prevented. This is a very simple question. See, most of the guys, they tend to lose the marks because they know the concept. What is the problem is, you guys, after knowing the answer also, you fail to practice the answer, mainly the long answer. The more you practice, it is going to help you to write in the board exam in a proper order. Otherwise, you will forget to put down the answer in the wrong manner, which might irritate who is going to correct the papers. And whenever writing any science paper, do not write any of the answers in terms of paragraphs. It's my humble request. Try to write as much as possible in the form of points, not in the paragraph, not at all. Okay, it will get irritated. Okay, now what is strong acid? Any acid which gives the more number of H plus ions in their aqueous state or mixed with the water, those are called as strong acid. If they ask what is the strong base, definitely OH minus ions, more number of OH minus ions will dissociate. Weak acid, vice versa, you can write. So explain how tooth decay is caused, how it can be prevented. See, in generally, if I want to speak, tooth decay, in case if any leftover food is there in between the teeth, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ರಿ ಆಹಾರ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾಸ್ಗಳು ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ದಟ್. ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾನ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ, those bacteria will release the acid, and that acid will bring down the pH value inside the mouth, and that is going to corrode the tooth enamel, which is the outer covering of the teeth, and that's how the tooth decay is caused. You can write that answer. How it can be prevented? Definitely using cleaning the teeth twice a day, and using the toothpaste which are basic in nature. And please do not use the toothpaste which are contained in the chemicals and all, whatever. Okay, so next question now. Write the fifth question. Write the molecular formula and 2 uses of each of the following compound. 2 or 3 marks, one for sure question will come based on the 4 salt. Which are those? Baking soda, washing soda, bleaching powder, and the plaster of Paris. They might ask name or what is the chemical and molecular formula of the bleaching powder, washing soda, or baking soda, and mention the two uses of the same. In case if they're asking preparation, they might go for the bleaching powder most probably, but you go across all those four salts, definitely one question is going to appear. Don't get confused between these four salts. And washing soda means what? Cleaning purpose. Baking soda, what we use the soda in the food items and all, to do that use it an antacid, so and so. And remember the chemical formula and the chemical name also, all the four salt. Okay, now here they are asking about the bleaching powder and plaster of Paris. So bleaching powder, the molecular formula of the bleaching powder is the calcium oxychloride, and the molecular formula is CaOCl2, and the chemical name is the calcium oxychloride. Used as a bleaching agent in the textile industry, paper industry, and in the laundries, and used as an oxidizing agent in the many chemical industry. A few more are there, you just go across. It is used to make the drinking water free from germs. Any salt which is having the chlorine, you can just blindly tell this last use that used as a disinfectant or killing the germs in the water. Any salt which contains the chlorine. Then plaster of Paris, CaSO4 12H2O. Okay, molecular formula. Sorry, okay, CaSO4 half H2O. Okay, it's given incorrect over there. Okay, please correct that. That is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. And when you add the water to the plaster of Paris, it will get converted into what? It will get converted to gypsum. That is calcium sulfate CaSO4 2H2O. And when we heat gypsum, so it get converted into plaster of Paris. That's the reason doctor usually they suggest not to make wet when they cover the fracture bones. So when you are getting fractured and all, they use a plaster of Paris on your hands or legs and all. They ask you to not to make it come in contact with the water, because it will get converted into the gypsum. And later it will be very difficult to cut that, because it will become very hard and rigid. Okay, related to that also 1 mark they might ask some sort of applied questions and all. Now, how to write this uses? Doctors use this for supporting fractured bones in the right position. So this is how you are supposed to write the answer. You just generally write use it for the fractured bones. How it is used? To supporting the fractured bones in the right position. That's how you are supposed to write the answer. And definitely used for making so many toys or materials for the decoration and so. Okay, very simple question. Now next one, on the pH value. Okay, on the pH value of the now they will give based on the pH value, definitely they'll ask question. If you see the pH scale 1 to 14, 7 that means the neutral solution, and pH paper works based on the H plus ions, not based on the OH minus ion. Keep that in mind. Anything below 7, 6, 5 to 1, that means what is happening below 7, the H plus ions are increasing. That means acidic nature is increasing. That means the acidic, it is going from weak acid, mild, moderate acid, and the strong acid. 1, 2, and 3 are strong acid. 4, 5, okay, moderate, and 5, 6 are the mild acid and all. Similarly, from 7 to 14, the H plus ions will decrease, basicity will increase. Anything like sodium hydroxide and all, strong base, and mild base. Examples, remember acetic acid and all those things. Similarly, acetic acid is a weak acid, and H2SO4, HCl are the strong acids and all. And weak base are used as an antacid, not the strong base. Okay, best example is the magnesium hydroxide, or so called the milk of magnesia. Those will be used as an antacid, means used as a base to neutralize the acidicity inside our stomach. Based on that also 1 mark give reason they'll ask. Now here comes the solution EFGH, and they're given 5, 13, 9 and 2 as the pH value. Now what they're asking, which are the acidic solution? Definitely anything below 7 are the acidic solution, anything above 7 are the basic solution. And do not write, if they're asking acidic solution, or sometimes what you will write 5 and 2 are the acidic solution. No, those are the pH value. They are asking you to write the solution name, that is E and H. Similarly, basic solution F and G. Don't write 13 and 9 and all. And sometimes they might ask which is the strong acid in that. Definitely the pH value 2, that is H is a strong acid, and weak acid would be the E, that is the pH value 5 and all. So based on this, again sure shot they'll ask 2 or 3 marks, so you should know the pH value, how it works. This is very one of the simplest questions they can ask. Okay, name the antacid. Next question, 7th question, name the antacid used to neutralize the excess acid in the stomach. I said you just now, that is the mild base, that is the milk of magnesia, or it is also called as magnesium hydroxide, or sodium hydrogen carbonates are also used as an antacid, which will neutralize the acidity in our stomach. Now here, see, now next one, little bit twist questions they'll ask, but when you read carefully, those are very simplest question. Nothing will be there to detect which is acid, which is a neutral solution, which is a base. They'll use the litmus paper, or sometimes they use the glucose or the distilled water. So they are very, very simple question. Here one question they are asked is the simultaneously red and blue litmus paper are dipped in the brine solution and in the aqueous product produced by the subjecting that solution to the electrolysis. What changes do you observe in the litmus paper? Support your answer with the reason. They are asking about the chloralkali process. Okay, brine solution means what? When the salt uppanna now nearna hakidu andra, that is nothing but the brine solution. Aqueous solution of the sodium chloride is called as brine solution. Electrolysis subject ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, okay, it will produce the product of the sodium hydroxide, and we know that sodium hydroxide is the base. When you dip the litmus paper inside that, definitely the blue litmus paper is, sorry, red litmus paper is going to change its color to the blue in color. So we will tell that is the what? That is the basic in nature. Now here the question is, when we dip the litmus paper in the brine solution, when we dip both the litmus paper in the brine solution, that is the aqueous solution of the sodium chloride, there is no change in color, because sodium chloride is not an acid or neither a base. It is not producing any sort of H plus or OH minus ions. Definitely there will be no change in the color. Why? Because it is a neutral solution. After subjecting to the electrolysis of the aqueous or the brine solution, so what is happening here? The red litmus is going to change its color to blue color, and what is the major reason? Because of the formation of the product of so-called sodium hydroxide, and it is the basic solution. Next one, Sarah. Again, the next question is the 9th question. Here, already we discussed this. What is observed when the carbon dioxide gas is passed through the lime water? Okay. For a short duration and for the long duration. Short duration, when it is passed, lime water formula, that is the calcium hydroxide, it will react with the carbon dioxide to form the white precipitate of the calcium carbonate plus water. On excess use of the carbon dioxide, when you pass excess amount of the carbon dioxide after formation of calcium carbonate and water, again calcium carbonate is going to react with the carbon dioxide, and it is going to form calcium hydrogen carbonate, which is soluble. That means white precipitate is going to disappear. So many times they are asking this question. Go across that and remember to write the equations or the reactions for the same balanced chemical equation. Okay, balance. So the next one is, see here, equal length of magnesium ribbons are taken in the test tube A and B. Yeah, test tube tondaro. Okay, you have to test tube the magnesium ribbon hakyaro. Then hydrochloric acid is added to the test tube A, while acetic acid is added to the test tube B. In which test tube will the fizzing occur more vigorously, and why? Whenever the strong acid is reacting with any sort of metal, so-called magnesium, then only the fizzing will occur. Okay, so hydrochloric acid is a strong acid than the acetic acid, as we all know that. In case if they ask why hydrochloric acid is strong acid than the acetic acid, you should mention the answer that it will produce more number of H plus ions in their aqueous state. So therefore H plus ion concentration in test tube A will be more than the test tube B. Hence reaction will take place faster in the test tube A than in the test tube B. So fizzing will occur more vigorously in the test tube B, in the test tube A. Here if they are given incorrect, that should be the test tube A, not the test tube B. Please correct that answer which is given on your screen. Okay, fizzing means it's kind of like, you know, when you add the soda inside the, or enu in the water, no, you produce some sort of sound. That is nothing but the fizzing sound. So next question. Here ends your chapter acid, bases and salts. So total 10 questions we have discussed, and they are really important. Understand the concept. Do not try to biat anything. Science is not subject of biating the things and answering. You know, when you understand the concept clearly, then definitely let them ask any sort of questions what they're going to ask. When you refer last 5 years question paper, then 4 model question which the government has been provided, and 1 preparatory, altogether 10 question paper. That is more than enough you guys to score more than 70 out of 80 marks. If you want to score out of 80, then definitely there is no other option other than reading textbook each and every line. Every year they come up with 5 to 6 or 7 to 8 marks question which should be completely new, completely applied. So please do read textbook each and every line. You have ample amount of time, 3 days time you got. So go across each and every line so that you will be perfect, and hope definitely if you might score out in the upcoming board exam. So next one, metals and non-metals chapter. So let us go across the give reasons. Okay, so many give reasons that they will ask based on this chapter, at least 2. Which one we don't know, but let us try to understand the concept which is already been given in these questions and all. Copper loses its brown layer gradually when exposed to the air. That is the first question. Andra, that what is the brown color copper is there? No? It is going to corrode. It's going to lose the color. What is the reason they are asking? Then aluminum oxide is also called as amphoteric oxide. What is the reason? Okay, now see here. So in the previous questions we were discussing, you know, first and second, first chapter, that copper will react with the moist carbon dioxide and there will be the formation of the copper carbonate which is green in color. That's the reason copper will lose the brown color. Okay, similarly copper, why it is going to form the black color compound? Because copper is going to react with the oxygen in the atmosphere. It is going to form the copper oxide, and copper oxide is which color? That is the black color compound. Remember that. So why aluminum oxide is amphoteric oxide? Amphoteric oxides are those oxide which will react with acid as well as base. Means what? If suppose aluminum oxide is reacting with the acid, aluminum oxide behaves as a base. When aluminum oxide is reacting with the base, it behaves as acid. How you will come to know that whether it is going to behave acid or base? Because on the product after reaction, definitely it is going to form the respective salt and water. Hence, the aluminum oxide and one more zinc oxide, these two are called as amphoteric oxide because they react with both acids and bases and they form the respective salt and water. Okay, so one more give reason you can see here. Okay, hydrogen gas is not liberated when a metal reacts with concentrated nitric acid for sure. This question is repeated so many times because nitric acid is strong oxidizing agent. Generally what happens, all the metals will react with the acids, okay, and they are going to liberate the hydrogen gas. This is a common thing. But when it is reacting, when the nitric acid is reacting with the any sort of metal, it will not, hydrogen gas will be liberated, but later what happened, nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. Other going to add the oxygen to the oxygen have to attach adondra, definitely it is going to form what? It is going to form the water. There is no question of liberation of the hydrogen gas. Again, one more exception in this is the magnesium and manganese are the exceptional metals which will not allow the nitric acid to oxidize the hydrogen gas which is liberated. Exception. There are one exception, there are one exception. Okay, magnesium and manganese, when they react with the nitric acid, they are going to liberate the hydrogen gas. Apart from these two, all other metals when they react with the nitric acid, definitely there is no question of liberation of the hydrogen gas because there will be the formation of the water as the nitric acid is the strong oxidizing agent. Very simple. After getting oxidized, it will produce the nitrogen oxides, nitrogen dioxide or nitrogen monoxide, whatever. Now here comes the diagram, that is of action of steam on the metal. See, electrolysis of water, zinc with the sulfuric acid, and action of steam on metal. Okay, out of these three, definitely two diagrams for sure, and they are very simple. Okay, and but make sure that you draw the diagram properly. Again, I'm mentioning, sometimes I have seen, like, the stand which they are drawing, the stand will be wider than the test tube and all. Okay, when they are seeing your diagram, they should feel, okay, this is accurate. Sometimes stand will be upside, and the this one, the burner will be down or up, something like that. So many silly mistakes you tend to do. They are very simplest diagram. Okay, so make sure where is the glass wool is there, where is the metal sample, both are there in the horizontal test tube, and even test tube is there, dilute tube, or they will call it as an exit tube, and you can see the hydrogen gas bubbles which are there in the inverted test tube. Okay, so they might ask you to label that also, either metal sample, dilute tube, or hydrogen gas bubbles, etc. Very simple diagram, for sure. My guess is, electrolysis of water, for sure they'll ask. If they ask out of these two, zinc and acid, or action of steam on metal, any one diagram they are going to ask. Total diagram weightage for complete science will be of 14 to 15 marks. Aram se you can score. So please do practice the diagrams properly. Now see here, once again, the give reason, the third question. When a calcium metal reacts with the water, the liberated hydrogen gas does not catch the fire. The next question is, ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point. Now first question, when you see that when the calcium metal reacts with the water, the liberated hydrogen gas does not catch fire. Why it is so? See, reactivity series, sodium and potassium, when they react with the moist air also, as they are highly reactive metals, they vigorously reaction takes place, and definitely it is going to catch fire. Okay, because they are highly reactive. When it comes to the calcium or magnesium, little bit lower reactive compared to the sodium and potassium. They, especially the calcium, they react with the water. After reacting the water, what happens? That is exothermic reaction. The heat is generated, heat liberate agati. Along with that, hydrogen gas is liberated. Hydrogen is the fuel now. Hydrogen fuel fire catch agಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ large amount of heat is required. But when the calcium is reacting with the water, no, the amount of heat generated in this is sufficient to catch fire with the hydrogen gas. That is the reason you are supposed to write the answer. Okay, hope it is clear. And when you come across aluminum, iron, and all, they react with the the water, they get corroded and all. And copper is one more. Copper will not react with the hot water, like magnesium will react with the hot water, but calcium will react with the cold normal water, and the magnesium, sodium and potassium will react with the the moist, or the moisture which is present in the atmosphere. Copper will not react with the either hot water, either cold water, either the steam, whatever. Okay, that's the reason coppers are used for the boilers and all, because they need to heat. They will not use aluminum or the iron and all, because they get corroded. That's the reason for that. Okay, remember, copper will not react with any kind of hot, cold, or moist, or steam and all. So next question is, ionic compounds have melting and boiling point. I'm telling again, 100% based on the ionic compound. One question will come. Either they will ask, name the properties of the ionic compound. In case if they miss that, no, based on the properties of the ionic compound, like how they came, they'll come. Why ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point? What is the reason behind that? Because it requires more amount of, or it requires considerable amount of energy to break down the strong inter-ionic attraction which is there between this, like say for example sodium chloride. Whenever they ask any properties of ionic compound, no, just try to remember salt, sodium chloride. Okay, then easily you can list on the properties and all. Okay, like they are hard and brittle in nature, they have strong high, they have high melting and boiling point, and they don't connect electricity, but in aqueous state of sodium chloride, that is a brine solution, it is going to conduct the electricity because of the dissociation of the ions and all. One more point what we can write, the ionic compounds are soluble in water, but they are not soluble in the organic solvents like petrol, kerosene. Remember properties and the of the ionic compound and all. So next question, uh, again same, nitric acid and strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes the hydrogen produced water and itself get reduced to oxides of nitrogen. We have discussed this. We are discussing again the same question and understand. Here comes one more question, that is the explain the formation of the ionic compound between the sodium atom and the chlorine atom. List any 4 general properties of the ionic compound. Okay, so just now I told you general properties. Just go across the question number 4. All the properties what we discussed we are given. How the ionic bond formation will be there. First we should write. Same concept it applies when it comes to the, when they ask the dot structure, no, dot structure of sodium chloride or magnesium chloride. So most of the students, when it is asked for 2 or 3 marks, you just write the dot structure itself. Do not do that mistake. In case if they are asking about the sodium chloride, first you write sodium Na atomic number, then you go for the electronic configuration 2, 8, 1, then write its valency, then you write sodium will lose 1 electron to acquire sodium cation, and chlorine will gain 1 electron to form chlorine anion. Like that, step by step you write this point, then you go for the dot structure. Do not write directly the dot structure, you are definitely going to lose a mark, and for sure 100% they are going to ask this question, sodium chloride or magnesium chloride. In case if they miss the dot structure from of sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, they will go for the carbons compound chapter. Okay, so we already discussed this. Okay, how are metals in the middle of the reactivity series extracted from this ore, their ores? Explain. Okay, so carbonate ores and the sulfide ores are present in the middle of the reactivity series. Remember, carbonate ores can be extracted. The process when you are writing the first step, you should go for calcination. That means what is calcination? Heating of the carbonate ores in the limited supply of oxygen ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು zinc carbonate plus arrow mark ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು zinc oxide plus you should write the product name. If in case if you are writing about the zinc sulfide ore, zinc sulfide will undergo the roasting process. What is roasting? Roasting is a process of heating the sulfide ores in the presence of the oxygen, so that it will get converted into metallic oxides. It will get converted to metallic oxide. When we get the metallic oxide from the calcination and the roasting, they will undergo reduction. There they use the strong reducing agent, so called carbon. So zinc oxide plus carbon, which is used as strong oxidizing agent, it will extract and give us the zinc. Again it is impure, 95% only it is pure, still 5 to 10% impurities will be there, that will be subjected to the purification method. So step by step, along with the equation of the calcination, roasting, reduction, you should write, then only you will be able to score the good marks. Okay, next one, alloys. Okay, very simple. Some 4-5 alloys are bronze, solder metal, brass, steel and all. Remember the constituents of these particular alloys, they are very simple. How silver and copper particles lose their shining surface? How galvanization, 7th question, how galvanization protects the iron articles, they are asking. Already discussed the silver and copper articles. Silver will react with the sulfur which is present in the atmosphere, and it will change into gray or the black color because of the silver sulfide. And write the equation also. Okay, Ag plus S sulfur, AgS whatever. Then copper, moist carbon dioxide, already we discussed, sometimes it's been asked. What is galvanization? Electroplating of the metals by the zinc. And the zinc metal ಮೇಲೆ electric current supply ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ zinc coating ಮಾಡಿರಂದ್ರೆ that is called as what? The galvanization, electroplating of zinc over the metals. that will definitely going to help in the further oxidation, corrosion agangilla. Okay, so here eighth question: classify the oxides as acidic, basic, and amphoteric oxide. They'll give us like this so many oxides. They will ask you to consider which are acidic, basic, and amphoteric oxide. So remember, all the metallic oxides are what? They are basic in nature. All non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, and aluminum oxide and zinc oxide, these two are amphoteric oxide. How do we say that? Sometimes they might ask the give reason based on the based on the metallic oxide, why it is acidic in nature, or why non-metallic oxides are basic in nature. Remember, when magnesium oxide, it is a metallic oxide. When it will react with the water, it will form the magnesium hydroxide. When you dip the litmus paper, which one? Red one, it will change its color to blue. That's how you are supposed to tell the answer. Similarly, when the sulfur dioxide present in the air, or sulfur dioxide, when it reacts with the water, it will form what? It will form H2SO4, that is the acid. When you dip the blue litmus paper, definitely it is going to change its color to what? It's going to change its color to the red. So like that, know the concept, it's not like exactly same question they're going to ask. Based on same concept, they might ask the different questions. Metal acts as a good reducing agent. It reduces the ferric oxide, and this reaction is used for the welding broken railway tracks. Identify the metal and name the process. Remember, the metal will be the aluminium, and when this aluminium and the ferric oxide will react, no, you cannot imagine that much amount of heat is generated. That much amount of heat, that heat is utilized in melting the metal, so that they can use for welding so many different metals and all. And as large amount of heat is generated in this particular reaction, this reaction is called as thermite process. Remember, thermite process, and mention the equation, balance equation for the same. So last question for this chapter: how you are given the cold water, hot water in two separate test tubes, and if you kept a piece of magnesium in the test tube containing cold water, it will shrink, while in hot water it floats, because definitely magnesium is going to react with the hot water, not with the cold water. Okay, remember, already mentioned this. So magnesium, when it reacts with the hot water, it's going to liberate the hydrogen gas, okay, in the hot water. So it also start floating due to the bubbles of the hydrogen gas stick to its surface. Similarly, the same thing applies when the calcium will react with the cold water. Again, there also the hydrogen gas will be liberated. That calcium will get stick to the hydrogen gas bubbles we can see on its surface. And one more reason for the calcium is that it is having the less density also. So here ends your the third chapter, metals and non-metals. Hope I know that I am going a little bit fast, okay, because I need to use as much as less amount of time, so that students should not get bored and all. I cannot cover each and everything, but most of the concept is being covered. Only thing is that, okay, you just need to concentrate, sit for an hour, observe my video. If anything, if I miss it out, or if I said by mistake, it tend to happen. If I said something wrong, please mention in the comment box. Sorry, you did this mistake. I don't have any problem in correcting myself. Okay, but if you like the video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification button, and put your feedback in the comment box, whatever positive or negative. I don't mind for that. So that it will be helpful for me to make more number of videos, so that all the Kannadigas or the Karnataka students can take advantage of my teaching, whatever knowledge I am having. I try to tell in a possible good way. Little bit improvement is needed. Definitely, I will do that using of Kannada. Yes, Kannada use ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Definitely. Okay. About one of the simplest chapter, okay, in the chemistry, and one of the most complicated chapter, because you guys know, okay, you don't practice these structures and all. It's very simple and easy, but you need to practice. More you practice by writing, more you remember. Chemistry is also called as vaporizing subject. Okay, you will forget very soon. Now let us go for the first question. What are structural isomers? Write two structures of the butane molecule. Okay. See, structural isomers means what? The isomers which are having the same molecular formula and having difference in the structure. Same formula will be same, but same formula, this can be written in different structure. We call it as what? The isomers or the structural isomers. Now they are asking, write any two structure of the butane molecule. Remember, N-butane means what? If you mention N-butane, you should write that structure in a straight chain. Straight chain. If you are mentioning isobutane, you should write in a branch chain. In case if they ask, write the three structures of, hexane and all. One more is there, that is a new. Okay, that you should write in the cyclic form. Remember. Okay. Here comes one fixed question. They are going to ask one question for sure based on the functional group. Functional group. Okay. See, functional group, you should remember that alcohol, what is the functional group? That is the OH, and any point of time you are going to attach that OH to the hydrocarbon compound at the terminal end. Okay, OH. Then next comes the aldehyde. Aldehyde we use for naming as a suffix like Al, aldehyde, and the functional group for the aldehyde is C double bond O and single bond H. You can see on the screen in the second option, double bond O and single in the third option, carbon double bond O and single bond H, that is CHO is the functional group for what? For the aldehyde, CHO. Okay, and the suffix will be Al. In case if they ask you about butanic acid or propanic acid or the functional group for the carboxylic acid, then it is a combination of both both aldehyde and the alcohol. C double bond O terminal bರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರ ಜೊತೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಗೆ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ H ಬರುತ್ತೆ. In case if they are asking for the ketone, carbon double bond O should be mentioned at the non-terminal end. ದಂಡ ಈ ಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಹಾಗಕ್ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು. You can see in the fourth example, the structure you can see the double bond O. Most of the students what they will do, double bond O ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಗೆ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. You are not supposed to. Carbon maximum 4 bonds. It is tetravalent in nature. Don't do that sort of silly mistakes and all. Alcohol OH ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ನಾಗ OL ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರೊಪೆನಾಲ್ ಇದ್ದ ಪ್ರೊಪೆನಾಲ್ ಆತೈತಿ, ಬ್ಯೂಟೇನ್ ಇದ್ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟೆನಾಲ್ ಆತೈತಿ, aldehyde ಇದ್ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ AL ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. This is the example what we are discussing. That is carbon double bond O, single bond H. At the end you should write while naming AL, and if they are giving carboxylic group, that is C double bond O and single bond OH, then you are while naming you should remove the E from the last letter of the compound, and we should write oic acid. And if they are asking you ketone group, non terminal end dalli carbon ge double bond hakbeku, and while naming you just remove the E from the last letter, that is last letter, and add the ONE like butanol, propanol, hexanon. Okay, they will not ask more than 7 carbon compounds. Again, the group of carbon compounds that are homologous series. See, homologous series means what? The current hydrocarbon compound and the next hydrocarbon compound will differ by 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen. That is CH2. Any preceding and the next hydrocarbon compound, they differ by CH2. That is called as what? That is called as homologous series. And you can see the C option. C2H4 is there. C3H6 is there. These two they differ by CH2. Again C3H6 and C4H8 they differ by 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen. Okay, they might ask what is homologous series, give example. You can give any sort of example. Next one is what is fourth question, that is the what is hydrogenation, or they might ask what is addition reaction. Okay, what is hydrogenation? Addition of hydrogen is called as what? That is called as hydrogen reaction. How better you can write the definition. Hydrogen is added to the unsaturated hydrocarbons in the presence of the catalyst. Very important to remember the catalyst. Nickel ಅಥವಾ palladium catalyst use ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ unsaturated hydrocarbon compound ಗೆ hydrogen add ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ. That unsaturated hydrocarbon compound is getting converted into saturated hydrocarbon compound. Or they might ask, how do you convert unsaturated hydrocarbon to saturated hydrocarbon? By hydrogenation or by addition of the hydrogen in the presence of the catalyst palladium or nickel. Sometimes they'll ask why hydrogenation is important. What is importance? What is the advantage of the hydrogenation? Why? Because they are getting converted. This all the oils will be there, no edible oils and all. They will convert into dalda, or they will convert into saturated hydrocarbon. They are very bad for the health. Why they are getting converted into saturated hydrocarbon? Because the main reason is for preserving it for longer period of time. ನೀವು ಹಂಗ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಅನ್ಸ್ಯಾಚುರೇಟೆಡ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ದೇ ಅಂತ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ rancid. Definitely it's going to spoil the oily items. ಅದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಯಾಚುರೇಟೆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ definitely is going to last long, because it will not allow the oxygen to react with the saturated hydrocarbon. That's the reason saturated hydrocarbon compounds are less reactive, unsaturated are more reactive. Next one, general formula of cycloalkanes. Why I picked this question? No, this is very simple question, but yet so many of them get confused whenever they are giving the example of the, say for example, cyclohexane. Now hexane formula now heng baritu cyclo baritu hexane ena R carbon atom A ni ಐತಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಡಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ add CnH2n +2. So what will do, C6H14 ಬರ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. When it comes to the cycloalkanes, the formula for that will be CnH2n only, because when you're writing these carbon compounds in cyclic, no, these last carbon atoms hydrogen na ಹೋಗಿ ಎರಡು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅಟಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಯಾವಾಗ cycloalkanes ದಾಗ. Okay, now here the question, general formula for cycloalkane already they are given, well and fine, and its first member is the cyclopropane C3H6. Write the molecular formula and structural arrangement of the fourth member of the homologous series. They are giving the first member C3H6 first member quota. From here you should start counting C3 first member, next the first one, second one, that is C4, then comes C5, then comes C6. This is the fourth one. Which one? C6. As it is cyclo, just double the number of carbon atoms. C6 has to draw the structure. Okay, very simple structure, you need to practice. Okay, there is no shortcut for that. More you practice, more you remember, otherwise you tend to do so many silly mistakes in the exam. That is going to happen. 2 days time is a practice. One sure short question I can guarantee you, based on the properties of the ethanol, ethanoic acid and soap, cleansing action of soap, 100% for 3 or 4 marks. Long answer they are going to ask, and they are very very simple. Okay, so now you can see a 6th question, that is how will ethanol be oxidized ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, or they might ask how ethanol is converted into ethanoic acid ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, or why conversion of ethanol to ethanoic acid is called as oxidation reaction ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, or they might ask how will ethanol be oxidized. For sure question. So it's very very simple. ethanol ಒಳಗಡೆ if you use the oxidizing agents like, see, don't write directly the equation, first you explain point wise. Okay, ethanol is converted to ethanoic acid by adding by using the oxidizing agent like alkaline potassium permanganate ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ KMnO4 ಬರೆದು, or acidified potassium dichromate ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ K2Cr2O7 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು heat ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it will get converted into ethanoic acid, or commonly called ethanoic acid as the acetic acid ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. Very very simple. Okay, write in the form of sentence, then you go for the reaction, then only you will get 2 or 3 marks for this question. Or they might go for esterification, how there is formation of ester, or how do you obtain the ester from the ethanol and ethanoic acid. ಒಂದು acid alcohol ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡ ester form ಆತಿ. Okay, like ethanoic acid and ethanol, they react to form what? To form the sweet smelling compound. What is that? That is the ester. Okay, this ester is used in the cakes or the flavoring of the chocolates, or whatever sweet smell we get in the perfumes or wherever, no, so they use this ester. Okay, remember that equation. Out of this to definitely they'll ask. Cleansing action of the soaps, very simple one, but most of the students, they don't write step by step properly. This is 7th question. Okay, so I found out one answer which will be there in the last at the end of the screen. You can just go across that answer. It is there in simple method. Okay, so soap, cleansing action of the soap. Okay, so step by step you should write what is soap definition. First you write, okay, a long chain sodium and potassium salts of a long chain carbonic acid. Soap molecule diagram ತೆಗಿರಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ hydrophilic end ಯಾವ್ದು, hydrophobic end ಯಾವ್ದು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. Hydrophilic means which loves the water, hydrophobic which hates the water. So they arrange in the form of clusters, so called micelles ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು when we rub the clothes, so they will remove the dirt and stains ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಟು step by step you just mention the points. You practice this answer for sure. ಇದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೋ, ಇದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಂತಿ ethanol ಅಥವಾ ethanoic acid ಬಗ್ಗೆ for sure long answer. Some question paper when we see, they are asked about the oxidation reaction and the cleansing reaction of the soap also, altogether 6 marks, and if you're lucky you can, but practice. Now next question, why are detergents more suitable for the cleansing clothes in the hard water? ನಾವು ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಒಗೆಯುವಾಗ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ದಾಗ ಸೋಪ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತಿ, ಸೋಪ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ ಅಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ದಾಗ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಮತ್ತು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಅಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದ ಇನ್ಸಾಲ್ಯುಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಪಿಟೇಟ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಸಾಲ್ಯುಬಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸ್ಕಮ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಸ್ವಚ್ಛ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. But when it comes to the detergents, this calcium and magnesium ions which are present in the hard water, this detergents will not allow them to interact with them. So that's the reason detergent will work more effective in the hard water compared to the soap and all. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, okay, again like this question they might, which are the salts responsible for the hardness of the water? So the detergents are effective even in the hard water. Why? So many different questions on the same concept they are given. Remember, hard water daga calcium magnesium salts irtavu, matta detergents insoluble particles or precipitate form agangilla, but soaps they do that. Okay, then here comes the molecular dot structure. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ sodium chloride magnesium chloride mix ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, dot structure mix ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ definitely they'll come for this chapter and they'll ask the dot structure for ethane, ethine or propane, propyne, whatever, let them ask. Best suggestion what I can do from this chapter, ಈ chapter ದಾಗ dot structure ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ first rough work ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಹಾಕೋರಿ, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೊದಲು ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋರಿ ಡಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. ಈಚ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ omnium, a pair of electrons. Then carbon to hydrogen hakonbedi. That will be the best way you can do when it comes to the dot structure of the hydrocarbon compounds. Please do practice that. Last question, that is I told you difference between the esterification and the saponification. Soap hang form aati, ester hang form aati. Ester is going to form because of the reaction between the ethanoic acid and the ethanol, and soap reaction between the alkaline base and the long chain carboxylic acid to produce what? The sodium and potassium salts of the long chain carboxylic acid. So at the last screen, okay, and this is extra question after the 10th question, you can see here and the dot structure how they are given. This is for 4 marks. Methane kyaru, ethane kyaru, ethene kyaru, ethine kyaru. So whenever you'll come across this sort of question, ಏನೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. ಏನೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ನಡಬರ್ಕ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ವೈ ಏನೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ನಡಬರ್ಕ ಟ್ರಿಪಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೂರ್ ದಟ್ ಈಚ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಂಟೈನ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ four bonds, and after writing the structure then you go for the dot structure. In case if they won't ask dot structure of this chapter, you are very lucky, but they'll ask the structure, normal structure. Sometimes they will write the structure of the propyne. Don't write only formula. Some students they will tell, okay, they said only to write the structure. Write the structure means you should draw the structure. Okay, so please make sure that don't get confused and all. So hope you understood the chemistry part. I tried my level best to make you understand in a very short period of time. I didn't have time to prepare this PPT or whatever PDF what we call. I had less time. Today morning only I planned so that I can do, because our friend Hattigodur sir requested me because you guys were asking. So hope you understood this, and definitely by tomorrow afternoon you will get the biology video also. Wait for, okay, that's the reason just hit the notification button, and definitely I'll make the biology also, and also physics. My one of my friend is going to do that tomorrow morning. We'll upload again. We'll get 2 days time to practice. Just go across all the things, remember all the points, what all things I do. Any feedback is there, please do not forget to mention in the comment section, positive or negative, I don't mind. And please hit the like button, share to all your friends who are going to attempt, all the Kannadigas who are going to attempt for this science exam. Hope definitely it will help and score the good marks. All the love, respect and blessing on all the guys from my side. So I am Mahaveer sir, your science teacher, signing off. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka, Jai RCB. Okay, ಈ ಸಲ ಕಪ್ ನಮ್ದೇ.